do you want to jump on the other account to do top? Okay.
So you could see actually the last few games that's part of why I'm so I can get like my death count is ridiculous on tank champs. There's like a go in button in my head where it's like this is a good choice, and then you look around and you're like, oh, we're team, and obviously, it's ultimately it's my responsibility.
Well, you were mentioning your. Oh, go ahead.
Like it is amazing. Actually, let me show you. I took screenshots of this because I've done. Let's see, I put it in my own Discord because I wanted to analyze it a little.
You should be able to put it in discussion or YouTube links in the text channels above us.
Okay.
Or student space, you can put it there. Let me make sure. I've been working out, so I tried to make this myself, and I don't know that I got all the permissions right. So it can be really tough to double check everything.
So that is the statistics on matchups. I think the one that I put in student channel, that's when I'm playing mid.
Okay. And what was the information that you gained off of it?
Ooh, and then I'm just a second there. So what's interesting about the second one is I focused this year on ADC. Last year I did jungle. And then I did a little bit of top starting at the end because I had a lot of success in mid, but I have that success with champs like Lux. You know what I mean? Like I'm familiar with Lux from my support, so like I went on like a 20 game win streak mid with Lux. But when I try to play like there's no way I could play a Yone or Yasuo right now. But anyway, so the second one that I posted is ADC. But what's interesting there is poke and all in, and poke destroys me, and it mentally destroys me. But also I just eat everything. Like I can spend the entire game focused on thresh hooks, and I'm gonna eat that thresh hook every fucking time.
Yeah.
But what you see there, other than like Ashe, Kaisa, Twitch, Draven, Sivir, DC, Tristana, like those are the ones. I mean, it's clearly Ziggs and Varus are poke, and so is Sivir in a way too, right? But like what you're seeing there are people who just like surprise motherfucker, and and you're like, whoa. So it's something like I don't know how people can like play aggressive.
Well, a lot of it depends on each matchup.
Yeah. So like I haven't put a ton of time, but like when you look at, let's see, 30 games against Tristana, okay, with a 33% win rate, clearly, right?
Right.
Clearly something's not right there. And Sivir, 19 games, Draven, 18 games. Those three are really indicative of like something wrong, right? There's something that's if you're below like 46% or something in my mind, that's you got something to work on. When you're at 33.
You know what all these champions have in common?
What's that?
They punish misposition.
Yeah, okay.
So,
that's true. Yep.
Ziggs, Varus, they have catch. Tristana has jump. Sivir can speed boost her team so someone can engage on you. Draven can just start speed boosting himself to get up. Twitch is punishing a lack of respect for his presence, the idea that he might exist. Right? So all of these champions have that.
Yeah. And so like with support, it's the same. It's the Pike, the Brand, the Thresh, Blitzcrank, not so much. I guess maybe. Actually, hook champs. My wife just sits next to me, hearing me. If there wasn't hook champs in this game,
Yeah, you'd
like
be
so.
good.
Yeah. I guess. Yep. I guess it is. It's all those, except not. Except not. Something about not. I'm fine. In fact, not's actually my best support that I don't really play a ton on. But anyway, um, anyway, yes, my weakness against any lane, in any position, is that same philosophy that you're seeing right here. It's punishing misposition, and it's often like I see I don't know. I don't want to get into it too much.
Yeah,
I'm not. I
well,
don't want to overload information. Sorry,
that's
I
fine.
hyper focus.
No,
But
it's
like
good.
overall, my brainless thought. So it's not qualified. Is that it's bouncing between, okay, I need to be more aggressive, to like, oh fuck,
Well, honestly,
I'm the front line again.
with all the information that you gave me about top being your weakest role and looking at the champions that you have a tough time against, I think the common theory and the reason why top is your weakest lane is because top needs to know where to be.
Yeah.
And if you're getting punished as AD carry or as support by being in the wrong position, or being at least, anytime that you could be in the wrong position, it means you are in the wrong position, right? Essentially, it's like every time that you're allowing them to gamble for free, right, to like poke you without taking enough back, they're presenting more threat to you than you are to them. All of those situations are negative EV. Right, just your estimated value on your return.
Yeah.
And so top lane is the ultimate positioning one, because you're the biggest, brawliest character of everyone. So you have to know when to be in fights and where to be so that you can get into fights and things like this. So so let's work on that. Let's make that the lens.
For me, like, it's would that. So, like I said earlier, trading, like, so one, my biggest, like, I started ADC at the end of last season, and was like silver 3 on that account, and then the biggest boost for me, like, hyper climbing, on Kai'Sa, and then also Caitlyn,
Okay.
was CS. That's it, dude. That's all I did. I focused on CS, and I'm not a good CSer, but like, you see the difference between like a silver and a gold 4 is generally not mechanics. It's just they had the farm.
You just
You know
have
what I
some
mean?
more gold. Yeah.
And like, so like, I became like farm champ, and I lost a lot of games that I could have won because I spent too much time. And now I actually see it as a gold ADC. I see like enemy ADC just rage farming, rage splitting, bot lane by themselves, overextending, but
Right.
no one knows to punish them, and or maybe they do. But no matter what, it's just like they're not in any of the team fights. They're not helping with the objectives, etc. Like, it's funny when you like grow up and then you look back at yourself. It's like in real life, you're like, I used to be like that, and I'm sure in some ways I still am. But anyway,
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
You were talking about the pros that come. Is hyper attention to detail one of them?
Yeah, or like tunneling down a path.
I feel like you can focus probably
Yes.
really well, right?
Yeah, but tunneling down has its pros and cons. If you're tunneling down the wrong path, right,
Mhm.
then I'm on a really interesting journey for me, but
Mhm.
in the end, you're like, this doesn't produce anything, and that goes for work life too. So I have to constantly, and I coach my the team members that I have on my little, we're like a SWAT team. So, but I coach them like, what are we doing right now? And what I mean is like, that's your mantra. Ask yourself that. What am I trying to do? Because you know what you're trying to do. You just you're taking a journey, and you need to make sure that that journey is in line with what your overall goal is. You know, we're trying to figure out how to write a script or something, right? It's okay to get creative and everything, but make sure you check in with yourself every half hour or so and be like, what am I trying to do? What am I accomplishing? So that's something like with this, right?
Yeah,
That
you need
even
to.
in the game, you like, all right, I was focusing on CSing. My goal was to not die. Like, and for me, in this game, I have to only really work on one or two things at the most at a time. And maybe really one would be ideal.
You're not alone. A lot of people think that they can grasp 5 things at once and they just want the entire bucket list dropped on them, but that's not how we learn. Like, as humans, you learn to walk after like multiple chances of falling where you're just focusing on that.
I think it's easy to watch other people be really successful and really good at things and think like just not realize the journey they went through.
Yes.
You know?
All right,
and then
so
obviously there's some really talented people who do just inherently, right? But yep.
we're going to stretch your top lane brain. You know, your brain's a muscle. It needs to get expanded and stretched so that it can work optimally. And what we're going to do is take your strength of focusing, but we're going to stretch it out a little bit so that you open the window, not to distract yourself, but to absorb more information. Because most people that tunnel end up getting lost for a moment, and it's usually those moments, especially when they're in the late game, that they're either just in the wrong place and they're not there for their team.
Tristana is on top of you exploding your face.
Or you're in the wrong place with your team and you're just dying before a fight is that really meant to break out. So we're going to do that through a top lane lens. Who's your most comfortable champion in top?
Comfortable. Probably Set.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't played him a lot lately.
Okay,
Probably
but
Set.
if I said like, yeah, one game you have to blind pick, your top, you have to win, you would pick Set?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it. Do you have Set on Frostwulfe or do you need to relog?
I'm on a new account. I IM'd you or PM'd you, DM'd, whatever kids are calling it.
I don't see it.
Oh.
Oh, you did it. Oh, you did it in Discord.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Sentinel Frost. I like it. It's a thematic name for what you're doing up in the top lane. All right. Sent a friend request.
So I've been learning Nasus, which is a tricky one.
Don't worry about it. We'll just focus on Set right now because
Yeah.
the exercise I'm going to give you is something that you'll be able to replicate with any champion that you want, and it's something that will be a good habit for you to do before you play your games. Just to
So the last piece
stretch.
of info I want to give before you
Go
take
for it.
this. The reason that I initially started the top goal wasn't because I was like worried about positioning or trading or even right. It was literally because I'm good at range. I'm good at range champs, and I'm bronze at melee champs. But obviously what you've picked up on there is positioning is everything for that, and like not taking free damage, like what you said with EV. What I'm starting to learn, I think, I'll leave it to you, but what I'm starting to learn is that like being free damage, taking free damage it's a huge deal. Like, and you're gonna see it, but I'm probably giving up a fuck ton of free damage to people by lingering around instead of like walking up to the wave, taking a CS and backing out, or I don't know. We'll see. But yes, that was the original. Was like what you saw in my support account with Rel with 11 deaths, or my one trick phrase with Braum for a while. Like it goes well until I hit gold 2, and then it becomes like a death party, and then I have to switch to Lulu and just be an enchanter that but anyway,
if you can picture a bell curve, the top of the bell curve is silver 1 to gold 3. There's just a like massive hump there. It's actually all of silver and the beginning of gold.
Yeah.
And so like the skill gap starts actually widening faster as you climb. So you're basically just encountering people that know how to punish you better.
What's like the top 10% are platinum up or something like that. Top 7%. I don't remember
exactly. They
that makes
squeezed
sense.
it to the top.
Yep.
It used to be 15%. Now it's like 7.5 or 7.7.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So here's what we're gonna do. Do you have a
Yes,
computer
sir.
that can handle screen sharing?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Why don't you screen share? I want you to jump into a training game with Set and go into practice tool.
All right. So I think you wait to stream until after you get in game, right? Because it doesn't transition properly or something.
Sure. Yep. I think that's probably a safe bet. So the task I'm going to give you is we're going to try a 100 CS challenge, just see how quickly we can do it. So we're going to tabulate that just for our numbers so we have something to judge yourself on. But that's not the skill that I'm working on. The skill that I want you to work on is moving your eyes up and evaluating something, anything. For right now, I don't care what it is. I'm going to ask you random questions like what time is it? How many minions are in the wave? Where's bot wave? Where do you think the jungler might be? Just any random question like this. And what I'm going to do is stretch your brain to start absorbing more information so that you're constantly checking with yourself, as you said, where am I, what am I doing, and just being very aware of your situation. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right, we're ready to roll. What time does the wave get here?
140. Nope.
They start fighting at 140.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a good answer. 10 seconds behind mid. What time is it?
159.
Where's the jungler?
If we assume blue
Yeah.
start, they're on wolves.
What's worst case scenario for you as a top laner? What time can they get here?
I would. It depends on who it is, but like I would be thinking, I'd be watching for 315. That's what I would be. And then at that point, I'd be keeping my eyes on my jungler because one, I want to help possibly, and two, if they don't do it, then I know there's a risk that the enemy is going to be doing. Son of a bitch.
It's okay. It's tough. It's tough to talk and do a task, no matter how simple or mundane. It is a skill in and of itself. All right, go river. For a moment, how many minions are in bot wave?
5.
Are you guessing, or are you?
I mean, there was 5 before that wave showed up.
All right, go back up top. One of the habits you can do is to, after you push in a wave, spend that time collecting as much information as possible. So, for example, mid wave is pushed, or someone's MIA, or whatever it is. We just want to use all that time to gather information. What time is it?
3:37.
How many CS do you have?
18.
How many CS does the other guy have?
0.
Correct. What's the cooldown on your E?
11.
Do you know what the max cooldown is?
18.
Okay, I think you're right.
16.
Which lane is gankable if you use teleport?
Bot lane.
Good. Why isn't mid gankable?
Wave shoved.
I will give you some reprieve to focus on making sure we get our cannons.
Yeah.
Is bot wave pushing in or out?
It's going out.
Is it still gankable?
Yeah.
For sure. It's still
Okay.
it's still on your half.
Yeah.
And this is the sort of play, even if you didn't get it right the first time, or if you didn't get the right angle, you might be able to do stuff under turret. But that's for another day, another time. Some of the things that I say right now are less important to gather now, but they might be something to reference later.
Yeah. That's actually really good.
I'm recording this so that you'll be able to watch it over again and see like, okay, here's what it felt like. Why did I miss the minion here or there, or okay, I see the information that's coming in. Good. I love that you're panning your camera. What time is it?
5:32.
What type of dragon is it?
Wind, air, whatever. The one no one likes.
I like it a lot now. Now it just gives that move speed right away.
Really?
Let's make sure to get all these. Not bad. What's your creep score?
41.
How much gold do you have?
1638.
How much gold does your item that you want to buy cost? You're against Darius.
1250. Darius. 1100.
1250. What are you getting at 1250?
Well, I was gonna get the first part of the. Nope, it's 1100 now, huh? Phage. I don't know why I thought it was 1250.
It was 1250 for a long time prior to like 3 years ago.
Yeah, okay. That is not why. But once you said Darius, I'm like, I would be thinking about Merc Treads. I don't know if that's griefing, but
Well, Merc Treads doesn't actually. It stops it slow from sticking on you for as long, but it doesn't stop.
What used to be called Ninja Tabbies.
Gotcha.
Plate steel caps. There you go.
Steel caps. Gotcha. Yep. Yeah, top laner. That's your best friend. How many minions are in this wave?
7.
When's the next cannon wave?
In 2.5 minutes.
1.5 minutes.
Actually.
Yeah, 1.5.
Okay.
That's something. If you don't know, you don't know. Cannons spawn every 90 seconds in the early game. It accelerates to every minute, starting at 15, and every wave at 25. So how often do cannons come at 30 minutes?
Every wave, right?
Yep. How often do they come at 21 minutes?
I'm not sure.
Every minute. So it's tough, right? I can say something.
Other wave.
Yeah, I can say something, and just it's tough to absorb all these things. So it's an example. No reason to ever get frustrated about it, right? We're just absorbing as much as we can. All right, how many CS do you have?
It's 59.
What would be your goal normally for CS?
100 by 10, but
100 by 10 is a generally good metric,
right?
But it tends to involve no fighting.
But personally, like, I feel like I would be happy if I had 75 as a starter.
Well, just like you said with
top.
With bot lane, where there was a huge difference in just having more gold. The same thing is true with top laners, but it's exacerbated early because you're alone versus this person. So if you individually have 200 more gold than them, it actually matters more. Whereas if you're a AD carry in a two versus 2 lane, that's not always going to be as impactful right away because there's another person in the lane. So you actually only have 100 more gold than their average. Does that make sense? Like, you kind of have to spread it out.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
let's go ahead and shop, and then I'll let you teleport bottom.
I think this has We'll pretend I have teleport.
Yeah, shift S. Just go for it. All right, your task now is to not miss a single CS. Be patient. Don't worry about pushing waves quickly. Get them all. I like how you use the stop command. Be very careful with using abilities because it makes things a little bit less predictable. Auto attacks are always predictable. Spells are like, maybe. Until you get to the point where they one-shot the wave. If you need to get a last hit, I'd rather see you activate Gore Drinker than using your stun in particular. What time is it?
10:31.
Good job on those last hits. Where's their jungler? Are you in danger?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like right now, I would never do this.
No, the correct answer is no.
No.
Because look at the other lanes. All your other lanes are pushing. The chances that they're coming to you are much lower, and probably if your teammates are also pushing, they're the more imminent threat.
Yeah.
Going after the top laner.
Psychologically, I have a mini map with nobody on it.
Yes.
I have a dragon up, and no wards, and 2 lanes pushed that I can't see anybody. So like that mentally, that's like a get the frig out.
Totally, right? Totally acceptable answer.
But ultimately like I'm super bad about exiting ganks. Like I bet I can get out of 1 out of 10 ganks, and it's not even like it's not even that I don't always even if I detect it early, the pathing or whatever, I'm not quite sure. It always ends up going awful. Like for me, split pushing has always like a scary thing, even when I'm fed.
Gotcha. Well, hopefully with the exercise that we're doing, your eyes will be up more often, and we'll be thinking more about like the potential places that they could be, and that should allow you to get at least a initiative against them if they're going to move. So. Good job. You got to 100, 1232. Believe it or not, it's tougher than you might think. While getting information, communicating in general just makes it harder. So it's actually, I would be very surprised if you got 100 in 10 minutes based on the sort of thing we're doing. Now, when you do this on your own and there's no voice in over your shoulder in your head, then you can start working and caring about the numbers. But the important part about this exercise is to do something fairly mundane, but add the brain stretch to it, right? Like we're adding an element that will make it much easier to absorb information in a timely manner for later. Ultimately, your role is the flex. Like you're the one who has to flex their muscles, and that it makes it good that you're playing set for that purpose, right?
Yeah.
You need to be at the right fight at the right time at the right angle, right? And every champion's different for that. Set's a little bit more front to back, right? He wants to take their tank in the front and dunk them into the carries,
Right.
And then once he's in the middle of the fight, he's using face slam to kind of bully the fight, and he's doing it with very little reservation because he's got the haymaker if he needs it.
Right.
So right now, this is all that I want to give you for right now. Like you said, better one morsel at a time, and to like digest it fully.
Yeah.
This exercise you should do in between every 3 games. Now, I say every 3 games because when I tell people to climb, this doesn't matter so much if you're just having fun playing with friends. But when people climb, I always tell them to do best of 3s because it gives them an opportunity to care about the result in a small sample of games. Otherwise, it's very easy to kind of just go through the motions for 10 games in a row, and then you're 4 games in a losing streak without even realizing what happened, you know? Having that natural break point, playing a best of 3 says, okay, I won 2, good, go out and walk, you know, have a snack, whatever it is, you know, ride a stationary bike, I don't care, you know, like anything to just have that downtime to help your mind reset. This exercise can become a great tool for activating when you're getting in position to, don't worry about the map anymore. In fact, you can quit out. This exercise, not only is it good for the redundancy of being able to CS reliably, it's also good at giving you training for opening your mind to more information so that you're just absorbing more. And if you do it before you play your best of 3, then it helps activate too. It's almost like a tennis player that's about to receive a serve where they go, you know, bounce, 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 squat, or like get ready. That little like motion, you're kind of doing something to warm your muscles up that has an effect that is very hard to quantify, but very obviously beneficial to anyone who does it for climbing. Any questions?
So, generally, I would say that, like, so support, we have a lot of time to focus on that, right? So, I'm not CSing. I'm working in harass and everything, or keeping ADC up, but it's a lot more time to keep up with the map, the objectives, the jungler. Like, I feel like I have a lot of that time, and I've built some good habits around that.
You do.
And like, and what happens with top is so like that exercise is a good exercise. But what I get like, that doesn't keep you in like bronze. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know that I'm actually bronze. This account, unfortunately, is tainted with a lot of ADC games. So it's gold right now. But I'd say I'm comfortable around silver 3, silver 2 matchups at the most with top. And so like there's something in the interaction, and it might be trading, it might be, you know, so like for me, I'm really feeling what's holding me back is something in the interaction with an enemy, you know.
All right, let's put it in quickly then. We can do a quick little 1v1. Here we go. Do you feel like you
if I can get out of the lane phase, even as top, if I can get out of the lane phase, we're good. I have a really good chance of actually becoming, as long as I didn't be. There's games where I went like 0-8 on set, and still like after 15 minutes came back completely. Had a positive KDA, won the game, helped with objectives and towers, and it just, you know, team fight, boss man, right?
Right.
And you know, part of the reason I went 0-8 is because I'm insisting on like not just playing safe, or what, you know what I mean? Like I'm trying to extend myself. So
I'm Shen, by the way. Just
okay.
For your resistances.
Boy. That's a good pick, because I don't win against him a lot.
Here's why the skill that we worked on is going to be universally applicable. You need that skill first before you can look for and hit open windows
if you don't know where your jungler is,
Exactly.
where their jungler is,
and
yeah,
and even in the micro, saying like, like he's about to go after that minion, or that spell's
yeah,
going to be on cooldown. This is a
okay,
window, right?
yeah.
So
What Nice refers to as layering, yeah.
yeah. And do you watch a lot of Nice?
Oh yeah,
Awesome. I think he has a lot of good things to say. Sometimes I think he skips steps in the progression of learning. So
yeah. I think that a lot of pro players, or high ELO, I think a lot of them miss the. Are we going top?
Yeah, going top.
They miss the layers in between the lower ELOs. To
Yeah,
them, like I've heard, no, everything between bronze and gold is the same basically, and everything between plat and D2 is like in their mind there's really general, but they miss a lot of there's
nuance.
certain things that we're doing that keep us in these layers.
And honestly,
But
some of them can be things that are, I'm going to say, in your control, but outside of the rift, right? Like,
oh yeah,
for example, I don't climb anymore, right? And that's largely because I have 2 kids. I have a wife that does emergency medicine. My life is hectic. I'm always tired. It's just not a priority for me. Like, I coach. I'm comfortable with coaching under those conditions. You know, climbing, there's just a 5% chance that I lose a game, right? Like, just period. I start with that 5% chance. So it's always, there's always factors like that. And then in games like these, there's going to be small nuances. For example, using stop mechanics, making sure that you care about every last hit enough to get every last hit, and then that goal just kind of adds up. So what am I doing that's giving me a favorable situation right now?
trade and bush.
Less complicated even than using the bush.
Well, you got a level 2 lead at this point.
Every time that you've gone for a CS, I've hit you. Right?
So right there, did you pull off, or was that it? Was I toast there?
No, I pulled off because your Conqueror was stacked. I don't want to.
Okay.
I don't want to extend that trade any further than that. You were correct to move away from this wave, because if I ever taunt you, then you're going to be taking all those minions. Good move. It may be that you had already moved before I actually cast my spell, but nonetheless, it got you in the right position. I like where you're holding the lane.
You dick. This is the shit I'm not paying attention to. But like now that I see you doing it.
No.
You're walking next to that minion and you're just like, go ahead.
Yeah. But honestly, like if there were a jungler involved, I would be in trouble staying this high up in the lane for that long.
Because it was held like right here for a while.
Yeah. That little move that you did is actually a very advanced like concept that people all the way south.
That's the type of stuff that keeps me in games, though.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Like wave management is a way. It's like a cheat code. I actually think I've heard Nice say that too. I missed my window there. So Shen's gonna lose all the extended trades, right? Because your spell combination is just so good, right? And that's something that's true about Set in basically every matchup, right? He wants to be able to do hit spell hit spell hit spell, right? Like that's if he gets that all out, he's getting a. Not bad.
That was unfair while you were talking.
Now
that I think about it.
Street League, bring it on. So the issue now, all right, so you have to use teleport here. Otherwise this lane will be in trouble. So now we get to freeze it against you and go from here. Nice. There's no reason for you not to succeed playing lanes like this. You did well. Everything was pretty good, except for level 1 and 2, where you gave me way too many windows to hit you without hitting me back.
And what you see there is what's getting mega punished. Oh, well, I'm still in Tower Rage. Oh, by the way, I take all the tower shots that you could ever take in the world.
Well, since
I've actually debated, like, figuring out how to, like, draw, like, a circle radius that would be like, this is how big it is.
If you go into the tutorial, it'll give it to you.
For tutorial, yeah. I've actually gone in there and done that so that, and not just tutorial, but the practice tool.
Yeah, sorry, practice tool.
So that I could trace the outline of it. Like, there was a time where I had to, like, memorize which flowers show up.
Oh, really?
Where, like, which flowers on the ground.
Well, I mean, no, everyone uses that. They're like, all right, you know, here's the spots that are safe and here's the spots that are not. For sure. All right, let's pop out. If you improve that tiny aspect of making sure that you don't just get hit, right? If I hit you, you hit me back. Always. Right?
Which, like, for me, Grasp and Conqueror are generally useless. Like, they're bad for me. I never proc them because I'm not. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I got to roll.
Yeah,
but it was good. Keep doing that exercise, and then when you play top lane, have that small goal of looking for those windows, right? Because now that you're looking for more things besides just tunneling on the CS, you can say, all right, you know, where's my window? And then the next step is, should I take this window? Right? And that's where you're gathering with all the information that you have. Where could the jungler be? Is it probable that my jungler is closer than theirs? And is this a matchup that allows me to do that? Right? Those are the factors that go into it. Now with Set, the answer is basically always yes.
Right.
Right. So I actually don't know the Set versus Warwick matchup, but Trundle and Warwick are the other two, like, alpha top laners that can just, you know, win 1v1 fights. I imagine Set wins in his spell window where he's, like, procking up Conqueror and then he's strong right there. But if the fight goes longer than that, Trundle will start winning because of all the bites.
Yeah.
Warwick is probably something similar because he's stacking up his healing passive and he's getting second and third Qs off, and his attack speed goes up as you get low in health. So
right.
Those are why those champions are as bullyish as they are, bullish, but otherwise Set is almost always going to be the one that gets to dictate, and so you can always look for those windows. All right,
cool.
Happy hunting, man.
Hey, thanks.
No problem. Hit me up when you want to do it again. All right.
That's great. Yeah.
Cool.
Catch you later.
Later.